The blackmail had come from inside the company. Helena had narrowed it down to 3 suspects, all in data services, each with access to the security cameras near the garage. We weren't going to HR. We were going to handle it ourselves. Callie, she said as we sat together reviewing the printouts, this isn't just about catching someone. No, it's about deciding who you are when someone tries to shame you for it. The culprit was Miles Brody, a smug data engineer with a smirk that never quit and a tendency to hover too close when talking to women. He'd overheard Helena call me Callie during a slip-up in the hallway. And he'd connected the dots. Worse, he had been whispering to others. Slowly poisoning the well. Smirking when I passed. Watching when I bent over the copier. But Helena had a secret weapon. She pulled out a flash drive with timestamped security footage. Miles didn't just catch you carrying heels, she said, a grin forming. He also got caught taking photos of you in the break room. And worse, of Maya in marketing during an after-hours event. Boom. That afternoon, we called him to the 22nd floor under the guise of a data integrity audit. He walked in, cocky as ever. Helena didn't even offer him a seat. Do you know why you're here, Mr. Brody? Something about data? He smirked. She dropped a folder on the table. Photos. Timestamps. A printout of the envelope he left at my desk. A second copy of the blurry photo, this time with metadata circled. His smirk faltered. And then Helena stepped aside, revealing me. Not Connor. Callie. Hair curled, blouse crisp, heels planted. I looked him dead in the eye. You thought you were hurting a man afraid of himself, I said. But you just made me realize I've never been more certain of who I am. His jaw clenched. You have 2 choices, Helena said, voice like ice. Resign now, or I forward everything to the ethics board, legal, and every woman in this office you've violated. He didn't speak. He just grabbed his badge, dropped it on the table, and walked out. Without another word. Back to the floor. Words spread fast. Not the details, just the outcome. All anyone knew was Miles was gone, and HR had acted swiftly. But something strange happened that afternoon. 3 women I barely spoke to smiled at me in the hallway. One even whispered, thank you. They didn't know the whole truth. But maybe they didn't need to. Maybe I was visible now, not just as Callie, but as someone who stood her ground. That night, one last text. Helena sent me a message. You fought for her. Now live for her. Next Monday, no more drills. Come as her from home. No more switching. No more back and forth. No more Connor waiting in the wings. Just Callie. Full time. If I chose it. Monday morning, the commute. This was it. No more changing in secret. No more hiding in Helena's office. No more pretending. Today, Callie Hale left her apartment at 8 a.m. in a powder blue blouse, matching blazer, black midi skirt, sheer nude tights, and a pair of polished 2-inch heels. No backup plan. No Connor in a backpack. Just me, out in the world. My hands trembled slightly on the subway pole, but my spine stayed straight. People looked. Most glanced once and looked away. A few held their gaze a beat too long. But no one said anything. And somehow that silence, that normalcy, was its own kind of miracle. 8:53 a.m., back at Delray Dynamics. I swiped my badge at the entrance. It still said Connor Hale. Not for long. I took a deep breath and stepped through the turnstile. Click. No turning back now. Helena was already waiting by reception. She didn't speak, didn't need to. Her eyes scanned me once, then nodded. You're early, she whispered. I smiled. Callie is always early. 10:45 a.m. I was at my desk, my actual desk, not hiding away, sorting through emails when my screen pinged with a meeting request. From HR, confidential. Subject, visitor approval request. Note, a visitor has requested access to see Connor Hale. Requesting permission to proceed. Attached was the visitor's name. Ethan Rayner. My heart stopped. Ethan. My college roommate. My best friend from a lifetime ago. A guy who knew me when I was barely holding it together, hiding behind football games and beer and locker room jokes. What was he doing here? And why was he looking for Connor? 11:05 a.m., panic. I rushed to Helena's office. He can't see me, I blurted out. Not like this. He doesn't know. Helena didn't even flinch. Then you tell him, she said simply. Helena, no, please, this is different. She looked up. He's part of your before. And you're not there anymore. I backed away. I can't. You've walked through fire, Callie. What's one more step? 1:12 p.m. I met Ethan in the courtyard downstairs. He stood up from a bench when he saw me, confusion flickering in his eyes. His brows furrowed. Then relaxed. Then returned with a vengeance. Sorry, have we met? He asked cautiously. My throat tightened. I nodded slowly. It's me. Connor. He blinked. No. That's what? No. Wait. This is a joke, right? I looked down, grounding myself. It's not a joke, Ethan. A beat of silence. He sat back down hard. Jesus. You're serious. Yeah, I said softly. I am. For the next 20 minutes, we talked. He asked questions, not cruel ones, just confused ones. When did this start? Why didn't you tell me? Does anyone at work know? And finally, are you happy? I looked at him. At my oldest friend. The guy who once dared me to sneak into a sorority party wearing nothing but a toga. And I nodded. Yeah, scared a lot of the time, but happier than I've ever been. He was quiet. Then he reached into his coat, pulled out a folded piece of paper, and handed it to me. I didn't come to embarrass you, he said. I came because you once helped me through something I couldn't face. I just got offered a job here. I wanted to ask if we'd still be cool working together. I unfolded the paper. Offer letter, Delray Dynamics. Department, Business Ops. Reporting to Callie Hale. He looked at me with a faint, sheepish smile. I had no idea when I applied. But I think I get it now. For 10 p.m. I sat quietly, staring at my inbox. There were reports to file. A meeting coming up. But for the first time in weeks, everything felt still. I had told the truth. To someone from my past. And the world hadn't ended. Helena stepped by with a small grin. Survived? Barely. She looked me up and down. But standing. That's what matters. Monday, 2 months later. It had taken weeks. Multiple meetings. HR forms. An internal memo. But today, as I stepped into Delray Dynamics, something was different. My badge had changed. Name, Callie Hale. Department, Strategic Projects. Title, Lead Analyst. No more Connor. No more secrecy. No more shadow walking. The woman in the photo, dark blazer, soft curls, a hint of pink lipstick, wasn't an illusion anymore. She was me. 10 a.m., the company meeting. Delray held quarterly town halls in the auditorium on floor 5. Most people treated them like background noise, a free coffee break. But this time, Helena was leading it. And that meant it was going to matter. She stepped on stage in a red sheath dress and heels that looked like weapons. She was as terrifying as ever, and I adored her for it. Midway through the update, she changed topics. There's something else, she said, scanning the crowd. An announcement, and a reminder about who we are. I stiffened. Oh no. What is she? She continued. We talk a lot about diversity and respect, but it means nothing unless we live it. So I want to recognize a member of this company who embodies the exact courage we pretend to put in our brochures. I felt my heart climb into my throat. She turned slightly and looked directly at me. Callie Hale, formerly known to some of you as Connor, has not only transitioned into her identity with grace and professionalism, but has exceeded every expectation in her role. If any of you still have questions about what integrity looks like, she's sitting in the 4th row. Every head turned. Every eye found me. My chest went cold. Then hot. Then applause. It started small. A few claps. Then more. Then all of them. I blinked back tears. For the first time, they weren't clapping for who I used to pretend to be. They were clapping for me. After the applause, back at my desk, my inbox was full. That was brave. We've got your back. You inspired me to finally be honest with myself too. Even Ethan sent a simple message. Now I know why you always won our dares. I laughed. And cried. And for the first time in my life, I felt whole. That evening, Helena's office. She waited for me by the window, holding a small black box. "Open it," she said. Inside was a simple gold necklace. A tiny pendant shaped like a key. "What's this for?" I asked, already crying again. She smiled. "Because you thought I locked you in. But really, I just showed you where the door was." I stood in front of my mirror, brushing out my wig, no, my hair, because I had finally booked my first salon appointment under my real name. The room was quiet. No HR threats. No costumes. No compromises. Just Kelly. The woman who started out trapped by shame and ended up breaking through it with heels, heart, and fire.